Everywhere you look, people are talking about AI, ChatGPT, image generators, smart assistants. But behind all the flashy headlines, there's something much bigger happening. A quiet explosion is reshaping the tech world in the US, a behind-the-scenes race between companies, cities, and industries to build the infrastructure, tools, and systems that will power the next decade of artificial intelligence. It's not just about who can build the smartest chatbot. It's about who controls the future of AI, the data, the chips, the energy, and the intelligence that runs everything from your phone to your car to your job. And this hidden race is happening right now across America. Let's break down what's really going on and why this might be the most important tech story no one's talking about. When people think of AI, they think of companies like OpenAI, Google, or Anthropic, the ones building giant models that talk, write, and create. But here's the secret. The real money and power in AI isn't in the models, it's in what's behind them. The servers, the chips, the data centers, the energy supply. Think of AI like a skyscraper. ChatGPT and Gemini are the shiny glass towers everyone sees, but the foundation underneath, that's what keeps the whole thing standing. And that foundation is where the new race is happening. American companies kept designing world-class chips, like those used in iPhones and AI servers, but the actual production moved overseas. That worked fine, until it didn't. 2. The shock that changed everything. Then came the pandemic. Suddenly, the global supply chain cracked. Cars sat unfinished, phones were delayed. Even the US military warned that it couldn't get the chips it needed for defense systems. The world realized just how dependent it had become on a few factories halfway around the world. And for Washington, that was unacceptable. In 2022, the US launched the CHIPS and Science Act, a $53 billion program to rebuild domestic semiconductor manufacturing. And that's when the race began. 3. The CHIPS Act, billions in motion. The CHIPS Act was more than a funding bill, it was a declaration of independence. It offered massive subsidies, tax credits, and grants for companies willing to build or expand chip fabs in the US. The response? Immediate. Intel announced a $32 billion expansion in Ohio and Arizona. TSMC, the world's leading chip maker, committed to over $65 billion in US investments, including its massive Arizona facility. Samsung broke ground on a $25 billion fab in Texas. Micron pledged up to $100 billion in memory chip facilities in New York. All told, more than $200 billion in new semiconductor investment is now flowing into America. 4. The new Silicon Heartlands. The future of US tech isn't just Silicon Valley anymore, it's the Silicon Heartland. Places like Phoenix, Austin, Columbus, and Syracuse are becoming the new epicenters of chip manufacturing. In Arizona alone, TSMC, Intel, and ON Semiconductor are building advanced fabs side by side, turning the desert into one of the most sophisticated industrial zones on Earth. In Ohio, Intel's new site has been nicknamed the Silicon Cornfield. It's expected to create 10,000 jobs, including high-tech roles that could anchor a generation of American manufacturing talent. This isn't just economic development, it's industrial transformation. 5. The new workforce gold rush. Building chips isn't easy. It's one of the most complex manufacturing processes known to man. Each fabrication plant, or fab, costs billions and requires ultra-clean environments, advanced engineering, and specialized labor. The US is now scrambling to rebuild its chip workforce. Universities like Arizona State, Purdue, and MIT have launched new semiconductor engineering programs. Community colleges are training technicians in cleanroom operations and advanced lithography. There's even a new term for it, the STEM supply chain. Because to compete with Asia, America doesn't just need fabs, it needs people who can run them. 6. AI, defense, and the new chip demand. So why does this all matter now? Because semiconductors are the foundation of everything modern, from smartphones to satellites to AI. The rise of artificial intelligence has triggered a global chip shortage at the high end, especially for GPUs and advanced logic processors. NVIDIA's chips alone power much of the world's AI infrastructure, but they rely on TSMC's production in Taiwan. If geopolitical tensions ever disrupt that flow, the global tech economy could freeze overnight. That's why the US isn't just bringing chip making back, it's de-risking the future. 7. Innovation on American soil. It's not just about reshoring, it's about reinventing. New American fabs are being designed for the next generation of chips 2-nanometer and below architectures. Advanced packaging combining multiple chiplets into single systems. 3D stacking for better power efficiency. Intel, Global Foundries, and a network of startups are partnering with national labs to push the limits of materials science. This isn't catch-up, this is a leap forward. 8. The global ripple effect. America's chip comeback is already reshaping global alliances. Japan and the Netherlands, home to key chip equipment suppliers like ASML, have aligned with Washington on export controls against China. Meanwhile, China is rushing to develop self-sufficiency in chip manufacturing, pouring billions into domestic fabrication. The result is a global tech Cold War where silicon, not steel, is the new weapon of power, and the US is determined to stay ahead. 9. The challenges still ahead. Of course, this renaissance won't be easy. Fabs take years to build and even longer to perfect. Costs in the US are 30 to 50% higher than in Asia, and the talent gap remains a major bottleneck. Even TSMC's Arizona project has faced delays, in part because of the difficulty of training local workforces to meet its exacting standards. Still, Washington and industry leaders say this is a long-term game, one the US can't afford to lose. 10. The takeaway: America's next industrial revolution. The semiconductor revival isn't just about chips, it's about reclaiming the foundation of modern innovation. Every AI model, EV, drone, and defense system depends on the tiny silicon wafers now being etched in the heart of America. It's a bet that the future of technology shouldn't depend on foreign supply chains or global uncertainty. It should be built, literally, at home. Because the country that controls the chips controls the future, and the US has decided it's time to lead again.